Now, we're inside of the dashboard of the WordPress 3 installation. One of the big changes that they've made inside of here is this section right here under the appearance section. You have an option called a header. If you click on this header option, you'll notice that this is the header that they're using inside of this 2010 install. So that's the header that you have here. This section right here is your menu option. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll come over to the header section. It says you can upload a custom header image to be shown at the top, or you can make one 940 by 148 and you can use that. Let's go ahead and just switch out to one of the headers that they have there. Now, to do that, I'll go ahead and I'll just click on this option here. Once I have that there, I'll go and I'll click on Save Changes. So now I have this frosty one. Come over here, do a refresh. Frosty. Could you switch this up? Yeah. If you come over here, and if you don't want to be able to use a header at all, you can just remove the header image. Now you have no header, and we'll go ahead and we'll save this change. Come back over here, refresh. No header image. Now, let's go ahead and just create a 940 by 198 inside of Photoshop. So we'll go ahead and we'll start something inside of Photoshop. I'm going to click on File. I'm going to click on New. And the dimensions that they're looking for are, let's just go ahead and just check them just to be on the safe side, 940 by 198. So I'll come back into Photoshop. And I'm just going to click on File, New. I'll make 940 by 198, 72. I'm going to make mine, let's just make it white. Since I have black in the foreground, I just do an Alt or an Option, backspace. Just fill that with black. I'll hit the Type tool, and having the Type tool selected, I'm just going to go ahead and I just want to make one change. I'm not necessarily going to keep this, but I'll call this RC Photography. I'm going to do a Select All, change this to white, and I'll go ahead and I'll shrink this down just by grabbing this slider over here. And maybe I'll just use something different. Let's just say I'll use, let's do this. Let's hit the Enter key. I'm a big fan of doing it this way. I'll set this all up right here in this one area. And once I have that all set, if I want to be able to center that, probably the best way for me to center this would be to select that text layer and then do a Command and Control A to select all, switch to the Move tool, and then you have center here and center here. And that'll get me all set up there. Now, once I have that all set, I can just come over here and just switch back to the Type tool and just click in this drop down, and I have the option to be able to select all of my type. And now this gives you a good way for you to be able to kind of see all of the type as you're working with it. So I think this is a good thing. Now I'm looking for something that's going to be very me. I kind of like that. Alright, once I do that, let's just go ahead and just add a little bit of an adornment by going over here to the Shapes tool, go to my Custom Shapes, and I don't know, I'm looking for something, just some sort of ornamentation, just to be able to kind of make it look a little different. So I have a little bit of an ornamentation there. I'll change the color to white, and holding down the Shift key, I'll drag out one shape. I'm going to take that, I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to hold down the Option key and drag one over here. All right. I'm not planning on winning any kind of design awards with this, but you know what, I just kind of want to be able to show these two things will work. Okay, and I'll select both of these, I'll select all, and I want to make sure that they align towards the middle. And then maybe I'll just grab my RC Photography and just kind of bring it over here, a little slightly over to the right. Once that's set, I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Save As, and I'm going to save this right on the desktop. So I'll go to my desktop, I'm going to save this as a JPEG file. Actually, since it's all white, it's probably better that I just save it as a GIF image. If you're ever in doubt, just go to File and go to Save for Web and Devices. This will be the best way for you to be able to see it. So I can take, let's say, my 2-up. There's my original, and here's the JPEG version. What I would do in here is just go to the 2-up and set my preset to GIF, I don't know, I'm guessing 32 with no dither. Notice that this graphic, because it only has solid colors, it's 9K in size as opposed to 33K, and it's not as sharp. So in this case, the GIF would be better for me. So I'm going to click on Save here. I'm going to save that right on my desktop, and I'll call it RC New Header. Once we have that all set, minimize, come back over here, and select RC New Header, and save those changes. Oh, right, I had to do RC New Header. I totally forgot about that. And upload. Once we upload it, then it shows the information. So I'll just go ahead and save the changes here just to be on the safe side, and I'll come over here and refresh. So a little too big. I would probably make that a little smaller, but kind of gets us up and running. Now, this information here, this title and this tagline, come from the settings section inside of WordPress. That's this here, which I can delete, this here that I can delete. Once I save those changes, I can come back over here, do a refresh, and we're good to go. Now, what I want to be able to do in the next lesson is I want to talk a little bit about how to be able to customize the background, which is another new feature inside of WordPress 3.